Hello everybody, I'm Ernest. So today I got in my trigger for my AR15. On my Ruger 556, I haven't liked the trigger since I've got it, and it has a lot of creep to it. It's just a mil-spec trigger, and which I've have other ARs that have a mil-spec trigger. But the one on the Ruger, for some reason, I just don't like it. Especially if you're taking long shots and you're trying to slowly squeeze, those type of scenarios. That trigger on the AR Ruger 556 is just not desirable. So I got this from Midway, and it was like $29. This is the AR Stoner Enhanced trigger. It's supposed to be I think 5.5 pounds pull, and this is what you get. So here's the hammer spring, the trigger spring, and then you get this little, I don't know if you can see it, I've already kind of installed it, the little spring there for the disconnector. Now on YouTube, my understanding is you can't show how you did it or how you install it. But what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and install this trigger and compare it to the one that was on the Ruger 556. And this is the first time I'm doing this. And here's what's strange, right? Is I believe YouTube's policy is not to show how you assemble firearms, but how I learned how to do this is on a YouTube video that is by Midway, the same people that I bought this trigger from. They have a YouTube video that shows you how to install it, and it's still running, and it looks like it was published like 4 years ago, so it's still there. So I'm kind of confused about that. I'm not really sure how that works, but just to be on the safe side, I'm not going to do the installation on video. I'm just going to install it and then see how does it feel like. I don't have a trigger gauge, so I won't be able to tell you the pull, but it never was really the weight of the pull that discouraged me from getting this trigger. It was just the creep. It had a lot of creep in it. And that's the reason why I'm putting this on here. So it's enhanced, supposedly. And so I want a smoother single stage trigger. And that's what this is. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, this is a single stage trigger, and for the price, for $29, and if it turns out to be a good trigger, wow, that would be a real deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and install it and then compare it to the Ruger 556 trigger. Okay, so before I install the trigger, this is the lower in question, and I'm going to creep the trigger. I'm gonna squeeze the trigger, and I don't mind that little piece of rubber that's stuck there in between the hammer and the frame. I just put that in there so the hammer doesn't slam. But anyway, here's the trigger that I don't like. So I'm gonna start to pull. It's pretty firm, and it creeps. You see that, how it creeps? You can see my finger kind of jokes. See that jerk? And that's not a wall. That's like just creep. And then it seems like there's the wall, and that's how it is. I'm gonna do this again. So I'm gonna start pulling, and it's pretty firm. It's like 8 or 9 pounds. And there's the creep. See that creep right there? That little on long distance shots, it seems to bother me. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't, like, I have a Palmetto that is a mil spec, and it feels better than this Ruger trigger. I don't have any problem with the firearm. It's just a trigger. The only concern I have is this new trigger going to be able to detonate the steel case ammo? Because I use a lot of steel case. Like when I use my 7.62 by 39, it's all steel. And since this has a lighter pull, is that going to affect the steel case and not, am I going to get light primer strikes? I'm thinking. So I'm thinking if that happens, I'll take the spring off the Ruger and put it on here and use it in place of this lighter lighter trigger. I'm assuming this is what determines what the pull is. I'm not really sure. So anyway, I just thought I would share that with you. The Ruger trigger, and I just don't like the way it feels. And let me do that one more time. See that? I'm gonna put pressure. It creeps. See that? How it and it's not. And then it creeps a little more. And then I think that's the wall. No, it creeped a little bit more. And it creeped a little bit more. And finally, I think it's just too much creep. So anyway, I'm hoping that's what this gets rid of and gives me a crisper, more predictable feel, especially for longer shots. For rapid fire, and it would help me too if it's got less pull. I wouldn't have to jerk as much, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a really a tactical trained expert here, but I'm just trying new things out and sharing it with you guys. All right, guys, so I got it together. It took me 2 times to do it, but I got it together. And here's what I think. So you have a little bit of a creak, but it's a smooth creak. And then you hit the wall, and there it is. Let me do it again. My little rubber thing fell off, but I'll just do it this one more time. So it has a little bit of a creep. See that creep right there? But it's a smooth creep. And then you hit a wall, and there it is. It does feel a lot lighter, a lot smooth. I don't know, because of the smoothness. The one that was on there was, I'm sure, is 8 or 9 pounds. And this one is 5.5. It makes a big difference. It's a lot smoother. You have a smooth creep, or it's not even creep, it's just a movement. Let me see if I can show you. See that? That's the amount of creep it has, but it's a lot smoother and easier. And then the wall, and then the trigger, and it just super, a lot better. I'm sure it's not a Geisley and the other expensive ones, but really nice. And let me check the safety. I'm gonna put it in safe. And it's safe. Now, when doing this, you can believe this. This is all I use. I use this. I didn't have a punch, so I used this Allen wrench and the handle of this screwdriver to beat the pins out. You have to take these pins out. You have to take the pistol grip off, and now there's some little pieces in here. There's a little spring and a little pivot point. That's what makes the safety lock in place. And just be aware of that when you take the pistol grip off, if you've never done it, because you will lose those pieces. But it took me about an hour, and I did it like twice. And that video I watched didn't explain the whole process. But I figured it out on my own. I'm sure if you searched on YouTube trigger installments, it will show you exactly how to do it. The one I saw from Midway was as if you had all the proper tools and you were just working with the receiver, and you didn't have a pistol grip on it or a buffer tube. But this is really nice. Let's see. And it didn't take me very long at all. Very easy. I could easily do it again. Creep. Okay, look. Creep. And then it just, man, way better. Way better. And all for $29 plus shipping. I ordered some extra pins. These pins right here that I'm pointing at. But I didn't use them. I just went back with the Ruger. If you don't feel confident in doing it, you can take it to a gunsmith. I'm sure it doesn't take more than a half an hour, the way they do it. You know, if you have all the proper tooling and the vise and all that stuff. But even that way, that's all I needed was the screwdriver and the Allen wrench, and the ratchet had an Allen set on there to take the pistol grip off. But that was it. So I'll be trying it out. And the next time I go out to the range, and I'll let you know how it functions. Like I said, one of my concerns is that it won't strike the steel case ammo hard enough, but that's yet to be seen. And yeah, very easy. If you got a little bit of a mechanical inclination, it's not a big deal. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.